Oh, I'll just hand it off. All right. I have Dewana Bonner and Brianna Jones taking questions in the room and then on Zoom. Go ahead, up here in the front.
Dewana, obviously, they got off to that fast start.
Oh, okay, sorry.
They got off to that fast start, and it was hard to kind of climb out of that. What happened in that early quarter?
I don't know. They just punched us in the mouth in the first quarter. And when you get down like that against a team at home that's playing really, really well and trying to make it to the finals, it's hard to, dig yourself out of that hole. But I can't even tell you what happened. But literally, I think they just kind of punched us in the face, and it was like we got shell shock and couldn't fight back.
Who's next? Noah, go ahead.
Obviously, just the game just ended, but have you, just thinking back on the season, like, do you have any initial thoughts on just this group? It might not be. You guys have talked about it wanting to stay together, just like what this group has meant and kind of will mean moving forward.
This year I think this group, I would say, is resilient. I think there was a lot of things, a lot of adversity this season, and just we stuck together through it all. And I think tonight we didn't get it done. We fell short, but I know for a fact that this group was gonna stay together and see what happens. But yeah.
This is for either of you. Coming into this game tonight, did you guys think that this would happen? The expectation of being a little closer. What's your attitude coming in, and what happened?
We knew coming into this game, tied series, game 5, backs against the wall, who was gonna step up, and they came out strong. Unfortunately, we dug ourselves a hole in that first half. We came out in the second half and we fought, but we dug ourselves too big of a hole in that first half.
Yeah, to either player, Collier's a tough player to guard on any night. What was she able to do tonight because she managed to do a whole bunch of good things. What was she able to do against you tonight, particularly against her good defense?
She's a great player. She made plays on both sides of the ball. She led her team all night. She was aggressive. She's been having a great year all year, so I didn't see that stopping in this game. And when she's in rhythm, it's tough to stop. But this is nothing new. She's literally been playing like this all year long, and I didn't think it was going to change anything tonight.
For either of you, they had a big lead at the half, but you guys came out in the third quarter, really frustrated their offense. I think it was 5 minutes or so before they were able to get a score in the third quarter. What was kind of the message at halftime, and how are you able to come out and just be successful in the opening minutes of the third?
I think it was just who do we want to be going into that second half? Do we want to come out and fight? We're not a team that's gonna just lay down and die. So I think coming on in the second half, we knew that we didn't give the effort that we needed to in the first half, and we definitely wanted to come out stronger and be aggressive in the second half. So that's what we did, just make everything tough for them.
To either player, Dejanay, pulling down 10 plus rebounds tonight, struggling with the shot a little bit, but getting to the free throw lines. Just what is it about her, and what do you kind of see as her future outlook in the W?
She's an aggressive player. She attacks night in, night out. She's been attacking all year. She added to her game, and I think you saw that she was, successful with it. So, her getting to the free throw line tonight was huge for us, and she just was an aggressive mindset in the second half, and we needed that from her. So for her to come out of the locker room and put her head down and go and try to get us to the line, but I don't see that changing in her game at all. I see her adding to her game each year. She's come back and adding new things. So that's kudos to her. So I think this is something that she can learn from, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for her.
All right.
How good is their defense, and how was it particularly in the third quarter?
How good is
their defense?
The Lynx?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're a great defensive team. They play well off each other. They help each other. They speed you up. They're physical. They were physical with us every game this series, and yeah, they feed off each other very, very well. So I think it was two heavyweight defensive teams going at it, and they just got the upper hand tonight.
For both of you, honestly, you've been in these situations before. You've been in finals before. Can you describe for people who will never experience it just how difficult it is, one, to get here, two, to force a game 5, and three, to get to a finals? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think you saw this season. Every night, you know, you're going up against great teams and great players. So to get to this point is tough. But then, you know, once you get here, it amps up even more. The physicality amps up. You know, people making plays, amps up. Everybody is, you know, taking it to another level once you get to the playoffs, and it takes that much more discipline and that much more toughness to make it to the finals. And we've been there, so we definitely know what it takes to do it.
Same. No, she pretty much said it all. Like each round, each step, each game that you win, it gets you closer to a championship. But the closer you get, the harder it gets. The better the teams you play. And it's really hard to get back here. Like it's really hard to get to this point in the season. So kudos to my team doing that. But I think we didn't have the understanding that every time we won a game, that it gets harder and it gets harder and it gets harder until you get to your final goal. And unfortunately, they wanted it more, but I'm still proud of us for getting, you know, to this point.
DeWanna, it's a very physical series. We've seen that, you know, through all 5 games. How draining is that style when you got both teams playing that way for 5 games?
It's a slugfest out there, and it's whoever's standing at the end of the game, you know. I think we lost the key piece in Marina throughout the game. That definitely hurt, but it's a slugfest, and that's what it takes to, you know, get to the finals and win a championship. It's physical, it's fast, it's the team that's more together, and they were that tonight. So it's definitely, I can't say it's draining because that's not a word that you use at this point in the season. You got to overcome that if you want to be a champion. And because next round, if we would have made it there, it would have been even tougher. So yeah, they just was the better team tonight.
And ending with Jordan on Zoom.
Hey ladies, so my question is for you, DeWanna, and it's about Breezy. So I guess just talked about, you know, she didn't play in the playoffs because of her injury, and just to come back, be an all-star and make it this far. Just talk about what's it like about Breezy, you know, that people don't pay attention to about her game, both on and off the court.
Breezy is a constant force in this league. It's really hard to come back from injury and play at that level. So and we asked a lot of Breezy, so it probably was a little bit unfair, you know, coming off an injury. But I don't think it was anything that she couldn't handle, and she handled it with so much grace and so much pride. And I'm just happy that I got to step on the court with her again after her injury, because to see her come back and be this successful is just, it's kind of mind blowing, you know, because usually when people come back from injury, you kind of, you know, out of rhythm, you're out of shape, and and she came in and she just fit right in and picked up where she left off. And unfortunately, but fortunately, we needed that, and she just handled it with so much pride and grace, and just kudos to her. And next year, I think it's going to be even better for her, because now she can actually train and work out the way that, you know, she needs to step back on the court. So yeah, watch out, WNBA. I think you're going to see a better Breezy.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
All right, I have head coach Stephanie White going to do a quick statement and then taking questions in the room and then on Zoom. Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, just first and foremost, you know, hats off to Minnesota. They've got a great team. They've been really good. The second half of the season especially put it together. They came out and knocked us in the mouth today. And I'm proud of our team for continuing to fight, continuing to battle, to try to position ourselves to come back in this ball game. But it's a lot to overcome a deficit like that in the first quarter. So disappointed certainly, but proud of what we've done, you know, as a team throughout the course of the year.
Taking questions in the room.
Obviously, Nafisa got, you know, going pretty early. What makes her such a difficult matchup on a night like this?
Jeez, I mean, she's skilled. She's got incredible footwork. Her pace, her poise, she doesn't get rushed. You think about how she played in college and just the development to become a guard, essentially. Like you gotta. She shoots the three. She attacks off the bounce. She's got great post moves. She's got great touch around the rim. She's just the combination of everything you want in a player. But I think the thing that makes her so special outside of, the obvious skill set is just she doesn't get rushed. She stays so poised no matter what. And, you can tell that the rest of her team feeds off of that. But she's a hell of a player. There's no doubt about it.
Any other questions?
What kind of series do you think the finals will be?
I think it's going to be a fun series. I think Minnesota has proven to give New York some problems. They've got the way they space the floor. But you also look on the flip side. Stewie's playing incredibly well. I think when you look at what Sab's doing, playing incredibly well, and I don't know that there's a matchup for JJ. And when you think about last year's series, throughout the course of the playoffs, JJ elevated her game, and she's a tough matchup. So I'm excited. I think it's going to go the length. I think it's going to go 5 games. I think it's going to be a great series.
Coach, obviously tough to go most of that game without Marina Mabry. It looked like she tried to make a go of it.
Yeah.
So just I'm wondering what your assessment is of her toughness and just the challenge of having to play without there, and then if just you have an injury update for her.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no question about her toughness. She's one of the toughest kids I've ever been around. She I know it was an ankle. I know she came down on, I think, one of the photographers down there. And she tried to give it a go and just didn't have it. And, we're not going to put her out there at risk for further injury, certainly. But we missed having her on the floor tonight. We missed not just what she does from a scoring standpoint, but her energy, her toughness, her communication, her ability to just space the floor with her presence. We certainly missed her.
Game 1, 2, and 3, Thomas and Bonner did a pretty good job of containing Fee. Was there anything different in game 4 and 5 that Fee was doing to kind of get different looks, or was she just making shots?
Yeah, I mean, she was making shots. I felt like I don't remember if it was game 2 or 3 or 4. Heck, I don't remember. But where she just really started imposing her will in the paint, right? She would just dive down incredibly hard to get position. I felt like they moved her around a little bit more the last couple of games, setting some pin downs for her, setting some on-ball screens for her, getting her involved in a little bit more of the action, receiving the action. But you're not gonna stop a player like Fee, or you just got to try to make things really, really difficult. And she does a great job of adjusting. I think she adjusted to how she was being played. And of course, Cheryl's a great coach, so they did a good job of moving her around a little bit more.
I was just curious. I asked a couple of players the same thing, but can you describe for people who will never experience it how difficult it is to get to this point, force game 5, let alone get to the finals? You know what I mean? Just the difficulty of it, and for a lot of players who've done it before, and some players who haven't.
Yeah, I mean, and just like anything, it's takes a little bit of luck. Got to stay healthy. You got to get hot at the right time. You got to have balance and you got to have depth, and it does take a lot to get to this point. It takes a lot, to move on to the finals and to win a championship. And every year, every team is a little bit different. But the most important thing that it takes is consistency. It takes consistency, and you got to be able to. You got to be able to come the same way every night. Certainly the course of a season has its ups and downs, and players have their ups and downs. But there has to be a consistency and a tough mentality. And, I think our core 3, when you think about DB and AT and Breezy, they've been there. They know what it takes. They know the toughness. They know the grind. They know the ebbs and flows. And they've led us to this point, and I think it's a really good opportunity for our young players and the players who haven't been here before, to see that and to recognize what it's going to take to get the next step. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I got a bad ear.
I got a bad voice. This team's knocked at the door so many times. Like, how close do you guys think you are?
I mean, I don't know, because every team is so different. It's they've been there, right? That group has been there. They've been to the finals. Again, being right there. Sometimes it's like, are you a piece away, a shot away, a play away? Certainly the way a season works. It does take a little bit of luck too. And, unfortunately, we had a good opportunity in front of us and we weren't able to take advantage of it.
All right. Ending with Jordan on Zoom.
Hey, Coach. I'm going to try to squeeze 2 questions if I can. So my first question is about Breezy. Her minutes are kind of on and off during this series, but just talk about what you like from her throughout this entire season. She came back from that injury. And then my other question is about Dejanay. Kind of the same question. What do you like from her from this season on both ends of the floor?
Yeah, I'm so proud of Breezy. The injury that she came back from is a tough one. And for her to come back and be ready at the start of the season, just shows the work that she put in the off season with her rehab and her conditioning and her strength training and everything to position herself to be ready. We didn't really know what to expect. And then to continue to grow and get better and be an all-star and be in a position to lead us, to one game away from the finals. I'm really proud of her. And she's been really consistent and resilient the whole season. I mean, she hasn't, outside of the minutes restrictions early in the season, her durability has been incredible. No setbacks. We hadn't had to really rest her. So, she put everything she had into attacking that rehab process so she could be ready. And I'm really proud of her for that. Obviously we love what Breezy gives us. This series is a tough matchup just because of the way that Minnesota plays and the way that they space the floor. Defensively, it's tough. Offensively, it's tough. So it makes it a matchup issue sometimes. But she shows what she can do with the ball in her hands, certainly on the block. We're continuing to challenge her to expand her range, not just 15 to 17 feet, but from the 3-point line, to be able to use her, in different ways and continue to adjust her skill set and improve, not improve, but expand her skill set. But Breezy's the glue. She doesn't get too high. She doesn't get too low. She keeps everybody together. She's the glue. And Nay, I'm really proud of Nay. Nay is a player who I'm not sure she's had a healthy off season to really work and grow. She had a little bit of time this year, but you can just see she's got a lot of great gifts. And she works incredibly hard and she plays incredibly hard and she does so many things that you can't teach. She struggled a little bit in the first half, but I was so proud of the way that she came out and attacked the rim in the second half, got to the free throw line. She was making things happen. But I really can't wait for her to have a healthy off season so she can just be in the gym and take another step. Her development's been incredible. Obviously she's reaped the benefits of that development, but the ceiling's really high for her. I mean, she's got a lot of growth in her still, and I can't wait to watch it. Thank you.
Come on the end. Cheryl, get in the middle. You want me in the middle? Yeah, I'll be the rose between the two thorns. Yeah. There we go. That's good.
First one for Coach. You've been here a number of times. This is really your second group that you've got to this level. Can you just talk about the emotions that you felt as the final seconds ticked off the
Yeah.
sim?
Proud. I mean, I can't tell you how badly our staff wanted this for them. We've all experienced it, as you mentioned. But this group it's just been a really special group, and the number of people that have reached out to me to tell me how much they enjoy watching them play and they do things the right way and that we're rooting for them. And so I just overwhelmingly felt proud for how we played. We played Lynx basketball tonight, and it was nice to get back to that. I damn near guaranteed you that we would play the defense that we played. We're now 180-6 since 2011 when we hold our opponents below 40%. To do that to this team was special, and it was necessary for us to close them out. Okay, Mila. Oh, oh.
Fee, I thought it was interesting that after the game ended, one of the first things you did was go over and give Lindsay Whalen a hug. I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting, and it was almost like a passing of the torch from one era to the second. Can you just talk about why, your thought process as you went over there?
Wade has continued to text me all season, all last season, just showing her support. And it means so much, like just having someone who, such a Hall of Famer and who has gone through this and has done what I want to achieve, like hearing from her and seeing her support showing up. I just thought, I wanted to give her a hug just to say thank you. And thanks for showing up for us. Thanks for, showing up for me and the team. And thank you for passing this legacy on to us because it means a lot. And definitely want to do her proud and continue. Like the job's not done. We want to continue on. So yeah, it was that was what was going through my mind.
Cheryl's franchise has had a lot of stars. Francis had a lot of stars. What makes Fee so special in what she's been able to do this season?
Well, and Court probably could pile onto this because Court plays with her and she's played with a lot of great players. What makes Fee special is the consistency and the way that she shows up every single day. Fee is always the same. Her work ethic, her demeanor, her passion for improving. She's improved every season. She's just been incredible. And every game, it's more than scoring, how she helps our team. And, I was really happy that Court helped her out some, tonight, because when we do that, obviously we're really hard to beat. But, when Fee is the MVP, plays like the MVP, we're a hard team to beat.
Coach, you brought Courtney in for these big moments, these big games. You took her out in the third quarter and you got it. She kind of was upset, kind of frustrated for a second, and you went in the corner and talked to her. How coachable is she, and just how much does she bring to this team, over the season and even tonight?
Court's I'm blessed. I don't know if I really knew what we were getting. The basketball player for sure. I watched for years. I had a little bit of interaction when we were at USA Basketball. But I don't know if I knew exactly what we were getting in terms of the person and the coachability. Looks you dead in the eye. You can say anything to her. Love that. And we do. We say everything to her, right? A lot of times it's to get her going. We were talking a little bit before this game. But we had a conversation. We had a conversation around that when she's aggressive and she play makes, we have a chance to be in the finals. We knew that. We knew that should be a big part of us winning this series. So I was really happy for her, that she came through for us the way that she did, obviously in game 3 and then tonight for sure.
Cheryl, as great as Fee's played this year, there have been some moments when you've had to tell her to step up and take over a game offensively. Did you have to have any kind of conversation like that tonight?
I said a few times, get a little more aggressive, when especially to start the third, we were not playing very efficiently offensively. So when that starts to happen, we all should understand that Fee's the one that needs to now get the touches. And then when you get the touches, to be aggressive. So we probably said a few times, just be aggressive. But Fee got help tonight, which was great, which made her life a little bit easier, and when she got opportunities. But overall, I thought her approach was really, really good.
And Courtney, there have been several moments tonight when you hit some big baskets and really showed your emotion, particularly toward the crowd. When did you kind of feel like you had something going?
In the first half. I think I went perfect the first half, didn't miss a shot. So when you start a game like that, you kind of know, that the hoop feeling big, got the super green light. And I think that's the confidence that Cheryl gives us. When you got it going, keep it going. And that's what I felt.
And that's where I step in and say she was 3 of 10 in the second half.
Cheryl right here. The win tonight puts the Lynx at the top of the WNBA for the most postseason wins with 48. You've been a part of all but one of those wins. As someone who's been around so much postseason winning, what is sort of the connective thread of teams that are able to win in the postseason? And then alternatively, what's different about this team that's gotten you guys back to the finals this year?
Talent for sure. Is a thread. You've got to have, and you got to have a lead guard. You've got to have people that can, sort of be somebody that you can trust and count on. And so I know Fee desperately needed that, so that she could be the player that she had a chance to be this season. Every championship team that I ever coached, or successful team, had at the core of them a selflessness, a chemistry. I think, and I'll separate out now for this team. Their belief in themselves and each other is off the charts. And it never wavers. It never wavers. Doesn't mean that it wasn't, present on some level on the other teams, but the other teams had 4 Hall of Famers, 5 Hall of Famers, whatever we're up to. And so this team, as Becky described us, Becky Hammond and Vegas described us as has good players. That's a great team. That's how special this team is that we didn't scare anybody. I'm not sure that anybody, at any point in the season was like, yeah, they have a real shot at winning a championship, other than the people that are in our corner. And I think we're continuing to have to make believers, including, the round we just played, maybe the round before that. We just keep stepping and the core of who they are. They don't care who gets the credit. They're extremely coachable. They let me say and coach however I want to coach. It's special. It's really, really special. And I am just so happy they have a chance to experience being in the finals. We're not going to be, we're happy that we're going to the finals, but we're not going to be just happy to be there.
Courtney, your dad was here again tonight and made it a point to tell a couple of us that you were getting 20 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And it seemed like that was going to happen in the first half for a second. Just curious if he shared any of that with you. There are a few other statistics that he had in mind too that I think you may have hit, but just, especially after last game, getting in foul trouble, just how big was it for you to be out there making shots and having a lot of success, especially on the offensive end?
Yeah, I mean, he was telling me after the last game, he's always instilling confidence since I was little, just telling me I'm the one. Go get it. You a bucket. Like anything when it comes to confidence, he's always instilled in me. He in here now. I just told him he got to be quiet. But yeah, man, anytime he show up, I try to show out. That's my guy. So anytime he can pull up and support me, man, I always try and put on a show for him.
And then for Fee, as far back as the beginning of last year, once Syl's retirement was official, a lot of questions thrown your way was being the face of this new era of Lynx basketball. And if you were okay with, patience or just how long it's going to take. And you were steadfast in saying the goal is championships, winning championships. That's never not the goal. So just the mindset this group has had under your leadership for the last 2 years, like just how gratifying is it to now, be going to a WNBA finals this early in this new era of Lynx basketball?
It feels amazing. And the best part about it, I think, is just like how much fun we're having as a team. Achieving your goals obviously always feels good, but when you're not clicking as a team, you don't like each other, it takes away from it a little bit. So the fact that we have worked so hard and we genuinely just like each other so much, it just makes it all the sweeter. And it makes you want to win for them too. It's not just like you want to get the accolade of winning a championship. You want to do it, for your teammates as well. And I think that makes the ride so much sweeter. Like we want to keep playing because we want to stay together. That every year looks different. This team will never be the exact same again. And so not only do we want to win a championship, but we don't want to leave each other yet. And that's a great feeling. So it is really gratifying to be here, but we have a lot of work to do yet. And it feels good. I think we're enjoying the ride, and we want to, it'd be nice to close it out in 3, not have to go to 5 to stay together, but
We're going to cut her off. We're going to cut her off. Thank you for catching. Next question.
Along behind the light back here in the feast, and Courtney, along the same line, just as elite athletes, I know the smoke hasn't barely cleared out there on the court, but what's it like to have the opportunity to do what you're about to do for these next 10, 11 days, playing for a championship?
It's exciting. This is what you play for, right? You play to be on that stage, and I think we all ready for the moment, and we're excited to get it done.
Court's been in the finals before.
Yeah, but I ain't win it. So I'm trying to win it. Let's go get us one. We gotta go get us one.
Cheryl, you mentioned that this team is particularly selfless, and that the chemistry is kind of off the charts. Was there a moment this season that you realized, like you looked around and realized this team is really special? Was it in training camp? Was it at a certain point during the year where it kind of clicked for you?
Second day of training camp. Second day of training camp. The way we played for each other on the court. I didn't know necessarily all the personalities. You have to go through the journey and road trips and all of that stuff, wins, losses, etc. But the second day of training camp, we had a way about us that we played for each other. That was really obvious. Was really exciting. I didn't necessarily know what it was going to translate into, but for me, it was a second day.
Cheryl, obviously you didn't know, who was going to be on this roster, didn't return that many players. What were you looking for when you were making the additions that you made to this team?
Better defense. That's not why I brought Court here, but she started to play a little bit. But better defense for sure, and playmaking with Fee. Court, playmaking with Fee. Getting her another score, somebody else to worry about, helps K-Mac. Because we felt like that's what we were lacking, when we played Connecticut this time last year and lost in 3. We just didn't have enough. And so we felt like we had a nice foundation. Alana Smith has just been a perfect addition to our team. Defensively, she's just so hard to play against. So to have the depoy and then a second team all WNBA defense is the reason why we're sitting here. And so we knew that we needed. And I mean, the number of times I sat down with Fee, pulled out my computer, showed her the analytics about our defensive rating, the championship teams. This is what it looks like. This is where we are. This is what it looks like. I've never coached a championship team that didn't play defense. Sure, your offense can be special, but if you don't play defense, it's really hard to get to the promised land. And so we just wanted to improve our defense. And I thought we did that.
For Cheryl and Fee, how do you now get ready in 48 hours to play a finals game?
Yeah, recovery. We'll have a chance in the morning. Got to fly out, go do media circuit, get a scouting report in, and go hooping. And don't, can't like talk about the schedule, whatever. I mean, who cares? Nobody's going to feel bad for us. Nobody. I don't care that New York's sitting there waiting on us. I mean, okay, we got to go hooping right away, and we'll do that for sure.
Your recollections of the games you played, those 4, and what do you expect coming up?
Honestly, it's too hard for me right now. We just spent 5 games playing a team. I have no idea. I don't remember a lot of the stuff that we did. It's beyond my capacity. I know that we've had some really good games, and we expect it to be a great series.
This one's for Courtney, just because you just mentioned it. You've been in the finals before with that team, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Can you describe just how difficult it is to get to that point? You've had a lot of playoff success in your career, but just getting to the point you're at now, getting back to that point, like it's just for somebody who's never going to do it. How hard is it to actually do and get there?
I mean, it's so hard because there's so many things that has to align to even be in this position. But I think it's exactly what Cheryl said. Like, we always believed it from the beginning. Like, we have a great group. Like, we have such a great group, and I think we all believed in what it is that we can do. And I think now everybody else is seeing it. But it's hard, and we understand that it's hard. But we invite hard. We love hard. I want to say this. It was a moment after the Commissioner's Cup game, and we played Dallas, and I was ash. Like, I was terrible. And Cheryl done brought me into the locker room, and she said, Court, I feel like you gave in to hard. And from that moment, I told her, I was like, I would never do that again. Like, you will never have to worry about that again. I think from that moment, I invited hard. And I mean, obviously, those conversations don't have to be had with Fee, not that I know of, or any of the other players. And I just didn't want to be that person to let the coaching staff down or my teammates down, just giving in to hard. And I think that we embody that. None of us give in to hard. We all hurting. We all know that we tired. But like she said, nobody gonna feel bad for us, and we don't feel bad for us. We know what we got to do. So it's hard, but we love it, man. We love hard. This is fun.
Courtney, you've spoken about your relationship with, Lon and Coach. Wonder if you could just speak on what it is like playing with a Nafisi Collier, and what that relationship, lead guard, post player, is like.
I mean, I say this all the time, and I don't play with so many great players. And Fee is so different. Is crazy. Like, the way she is so coachable, from anybody. It does not matter. Like, she just wants to be great, and she show up every day. In her humility and the way she talk to people, the way she carries herself, it's actually insane because a lot of this girl's a bona fide superstar and they don't act like that. Like a lot of superstars does not act like that. And the way she shows up and she cares, it's different. And I think when your leader and your superstar moves like that, it's easy to trickle down. And I think the way Cheryl holds us all accountable from our superstar all the way down to our rookie, like she coaches us all the same way. She don't make no exceptions for nobody. And I think when you have a superstar that's so coachable, it's easy for all of us to be like, she listening. What make you think you're not gonna listen? You know what I'm saying? So I love it here. Thank y'all.
We'll take our final question from the Zoom from Lindsay.
Hey ladies, congratulations. Fee, I'm really upset that Mila left. I wanted to ask her a question. But maybe during the finals. Cheryl, Steph was in here just a second ago talking about the evolution of Fee's game. When you think about what she was like in college, she shot the three, obviously, but she's basically become like a big guard. And I wondered, is that something that you two talked about together over the years? Or has it been like her wanting to expand her game and be unstoppable in essentially every facet?
It's the latter. Fee's hunger, to be great. And every year, she doesn't need us to tell her. She knows what she's got to get better at. I did ask her, we did sit down and we talked about our defense and I wanted her to be defensive player of the year. You don't necessarily work on that in the off season. I don't know of any trainers that are putting you guys through any defensive drills. You did this. Okay. So that's why so that's good news to me. That's good stuff. Get a bonus to that person. But yeah, I think what were we saying? What were we talking about? Fee, yeah, like her improvement. Every year, she came into the league being an undersized post player who, frankly, didn't have much ball skill. Was capable three baller, but it wasn't top of mind for her. And so it's been a real evolution for her to become now one of the best power forwards in this league. Shoots the three, goes off the bounce, she posts up, obviously defends, she rebounds, she blocks shots. Two of her best seasons have been at the power forward spot. So we've really locked into that. And I still think she's got, more ways to improve. And, that's what MVPs do. Great players do. They never feel like they've arrived. They just keep getting better and better. And that's what Fee has done.
Appreciate
Thanks.
y'all.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.